Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
And what is this podcast called?
This is your Bloody Happy Hour, the Quickie edition, where we just, do quickie things.
Talk about what's in the news.
What's in the news? What's happening? We got P. Diddy, we got Garth Brooks, we got the Menendez brothers, we got all the things. I don't know.
I finally finished the Menendez brothers.
Well, I didn't.
And there's 9 episodes, not 5. It's Correction Corner over here.
Oh, Correction Corner.
And it was so good.
I know.
And the best part was, did you know that one of them was in a cell next to O.J. Simpson? So the whole O.J. Simpson part was part of this. Last couple of episodes. And that Shapiro had the Menendez's lawyers first. I think they fired him and then hired this woman that nobody liked. So it's basically like they did not get off because everybody hated this lawyer.
And then they had, they got a hung jury on the first try.
Yeah.
And then
it was the men against the women. So all the women were like, what if this is my son? But all the men were like, hell no.
I mean, they did it.
The second time was just a horrible trial.
Yeah, wasn't there like a letter that one of the brothers sent a letter to his cousin a few months before it all happened, like 9 months before it happened?
Well,
that's what I was listening to some defense attorneys talk about it with Megyn Kelly. But
I thought that letter was basically saying how his dad's doing all that stuff to him.
Yeah.
Like the abuse.
And I think he was able to testify in the first trial, but maybe not the second.
Well, Lyle agreed to help a lady write a book about...
Never write a book. The books never work.
And he's such a narcissist that he was blowing it all up and just... You saw like his... lack of empathy about it, so he hung them on this book because she recorded every conversation. She acted like she was in love with them, so he was just like flattering her, and it ended up she was recording it, and this book came out that basically made them look like they were spoiled little rich kids that wanted money, and they didn't even care about hearing the abuse anymore. I still don't know what to believe.
But it sounds like they might get.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll get Are they maybe gonna go straight to get out or like go straight to get a new trial?
I thought it was a new trial because it's new evidence. Because they got life without the possibility of parole, so something has to change and overturn for you to be able to get out, unless you're Kenneth McDuff and there's a whole system change. You gotta be in Texas for that to happen. And also Unsolved Mysteries has come out with another, I think it's like volume 5 or volume 4, so there's a whole new season of the Unsolved Mysteries. So we usually find some good episodes from that.
Oh, that's true, even though those are the worst.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so quickie for today. We're going to start off in Waco, and we got a trial coming up here in Waco. So it goes back to December 29th, 2022, when a 59-year-old male named Richard Wilcox was reported missing. And police kind of investigated, and they even went to the gym that he frequented here. Mm-hmm. And the people at the gym were like, he has not been here in like 10 days, and that's unlike him. And this was holiday time where people do work out less, but they were like, still, he does not miss this many days in a row. So people knew something was wrong. Well, on January 6th, his body was found on Baylor's campus in a creek bed, I think wrapped in sheets, wrapped up in bedding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're going to find out.
Yes. And a homeless person had turned in his cell phone. So some homeless person found it and turned it in,
Oh my gosh.
which is good. Police visited Wilcox's home, and when they got there, they saw that there were 3 youngins living there. A 17-year-old named Heaven Hamilton. She should have chosen another name. 18-year-old James Keelan Willis, and 19-year-old Brandon Xavier Stevens. 17, 18, and 19, living with this 59-year-old man.
No, they're not related to this person?
They are not related. So Heaven is a black girl. One of the boys is black and one of the boys is white. So this seems like just 3 teenagers that know each other, but why are they living with this guy? So they all live in this house with him. This house is on Garrett Street in Waco. And they actually gave police permission to search the house. They were like, sure, yeah, he lives here.
Yeah.
We didn't know he's missing. What's wondering what was going on? So when police were searching the house, they realized that Wilcox's bed was missing one thing. It was just a mattress. It was missing some sheets and some bedding. And so maybe went to the laundromat that day.
Yeah, it's just trying to wash the sheets,
So there was also broken glass on the floor, and when they searched Wilcox's car, there was blood stains in the trunk of Wilcox's car, so his own car, the guy that was missing, blood stains in his car. They found potential evidence such as tools, knife, cleaning products, packing tools, and they also agreed to have the police talk to him. So they went down the station, the police talked to him. They did not ask for a lawyer. And all 3 kids admitted to being present and taking active roles in the shooting death of Stanley Wilcox. So he was shot after there was a confrontation. So they all semi-confessed. The girl said that she knew about it. She just didn't report it, but she knew. And this guy had been missing for 10 days, and it was all over the news. So I remember seeing him missing, and then I remember I worked out at Baylor that day, or just ran around at Baylor that day, and then like the next day they found his body like right there where we were, because it's kind of by, I think it was by
found it?
Where the bear were, that little creek that's right there, kind of by Common Ground.
Yes.
That's what it looked like in the picture. This is 2022, December.
Oh, okay.
Or January 2023. So it's just a year ago. So, their quote was, "We put him out of his misery."
Okay, maybe he was,
Not sick.
Oh.
He goes to gym daily, and he looked like he was in really good shape. So there's a lot of questions out there. The questions is, what were they doing with him? Were there drugs involved? Which people in the gym obviously can do drugs, but he didn't look like a meth addict, so it couldn't have been too hardcore of drugs. Is there something sexual going on? Like, why would you have these little kids? Why are you 59 with these little kids? Or was he just a nice guy that was helping out these kids and they took advantage of him? We have no idea. The story is not out. It may be out in the streets, but I hadn't seen any articles that reported it. But the trial is this weekend. It's supposed to last about 6 days. So they're picking juries and everything. I wish I had jury duty. I wish I could just.
But guess what?
Say,
we can go.
We can go to the trial.
And we probably will.
So something local. We'll keep up with you guys. Also in Waco, Kenneth McDuff was trending for a little bit.
What?
You sent it to me.
I did? Okay. Go me.
A bunch of people sent it to me. So Kenneth McDuff was trending again.
I think I might have saw it and I just sent it without looking at it.
So have you ever heard of the Cossacks Motorcycle Club?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, I just talked about that yesterday with somebody. Okay.
Yes. So I had never heard of the Cossacks Motorcycle Club until like 3 weeks ago.
They were not the Twin Peaks? The Banditos? And the...
Well, I've only heard of the Hell's Angels, and I think they were, but I just never heard the name. I always heard Hell's Angels, Banditos. I never heard of the Cossacks, whatever it is, because I would have remembered that.
Absolutely.
So, very, very dangerous MC. Like, very dangerous. They're like the Sons of Anarchy. Times 10.
The best.
And And we were at the convenience store the other day, and Sweet says, "Shit, I got the hell out of there," because it was a Cossacks guy with this Cossacks leather vest on. And I was like, why? Because I'm thinking I want to join a motorcycle club after watching Sons of Anarchy. But he said they're very dangerous. Well, so a member of the gang, his name is Romy Franciscu. I have no idea. I butchered it. Was charged with double capital murder after shooting a 38-year-old Michael Morris and 18-year-old son, Braxton Johnson. So Michael's the daddy, Braxton's the son. Romy was the motorcycle club Cossacks member that allegedly shot and killed both of them. This is right down the road in the Bruce Valetti Moody area. So allegedly there's been an ongoing feud with them. And Michael decided to drive by Romy's house, and he flipped him off like you do when you're young.
Yeah.
And Romy didn't like it, so Romy got on his bike, and he chased him down on his bike and went to his house and was like, "Leave me the hell alone." This is Romy's story because Michael can't tell this story. And Romy said that Michael hopped on his bike and chased him down and wanted to fight. So they're in the middle of this ranch road in the Moody area, and they started to fight. Well, I guess it wasn't a fair fight because allegedly Michael pulled out a knife and was beating him in the head. Didn't stab him anywhere, but was beating him in the head. And then another truck pulled up with two other people that got out. So Romy is thinking he's going to get triple teamed. And they try to run over. Romy tries to get on his bike. They run over him and his bike. So they run over. He can't run away. So they run and hide behind a tree. And he pulls out his gun and he says he's on the ground and they're coming after him. And he shoots 2 out of the 3 of them. And that's why they die. Then he calls his girlfriend, his wife, to come pick him up. And he gets in the car and leaves. But he also calls 911 and says, come get them. I'm gone. And he leaves the scene. So he was arrested for double capital murder. And his wife has now since been arrested because also for capital murder. So there has to be more to the story, or she just helped him get away with it because she picked him up from the crime scene.
That would just be accessory, right?
It said capital murder. Okay. I didn't see. I know. So, and maybe they're going to dumb it down to accessory, but she's been arrested. But the whole point of this is Michael is the son of Melissa Ann Northrup, who was McDuff's 8th or 9th victim. He worked at the convenience store with her and ended up kidnapping her, killing her, and raping her, killing her, and dumped her body in a gravel pit in Dallas. So they found her body later on. She had a son at that time. Son was Michael. Her parents ended up raising Michael, and Michael had his own son, which was Braxton. So imagine 3 generations been violent crimes. 3 generations. That is like a family curse.
That is a family curse. Because that's the most random, like, especially for her, just being a random, victim.
Yeah, the other ones were like prostitutes. She was like, she was working. She was a convenience store clerk. He knew her. He worked there for 5 seconds.
They just had to throw Kenneth McDuff out there on their little...
Yeah, so
they got attention.
Reported, and then of course people were pissed. Was like, this is too soon to be bringing up all the other tragedies that family has to deal with. So I just thought that was random. So if you don't know Kenneth McDuff, go back and listen to episode 1. That is the most notorious serial killer that ever came out of the Waco area, and he is scary. He's still scary.
Oh yeah, he's real scary.
And now we have a missing white woman.
Ooh, my favorite.
Near San Antonio, and her last name is Simpson.
Wait, is this the one that I sent you?
Yes.
Yes. That's like blowing up.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it because I didn't read it because I knew you were going to tell me about it.
So she's been missing since October 7th. And police have been looking for her. She's a mother of 4 and she's a beloved realtor. She was reported missing by her husband October 7th about 3 p.m. when the school called him and said, your wife did not pick up your daughter like she always does. So he reported her missing. Now, about 24 hours after she was reported missing, police find out that there was actually a domestic altercation between Mr. Simpson and Miss Simpson. Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
And so the night before, so the Sunday night before, Suzanne Simpson went to Argyle, which is like this private, well-to-do club. Invite only, bunch of money there. She went without him, so she went alone. She wasn't there long because she got back home to their home about 9 p.m. Mm-hmm. We got a nosy neighbor, and I love some nosy neighbors.
Oh, hell.
Nosy neighbor told the police that the couple were having a physical altercation outside of their home, like kind of in the driveway. And the neighbor saw Brad grab Suzanne by like her upper torso to like gain control. He said you could tell that Suzanne was attempting to get away, but he would not let her. And then the next time he just saw Brad kind of take her down, like almost to the ground, like out of sight. Okay? So then next he saw as they were both headed westbound to the residence, but on feet is what I can gather because this car's still parked. They're not on any car, but they live next to a wooded area. So he was like dragging her, forcing her down this road. It was dark time to this wooded area. But so nosy neighbor goes out with his flashlight and he's like trying to look and see. It's probably like a bright ass mag light, trying to look and see, and he couldn't see them anywhere. And then he heard about 3 loud screams coming from the wooded area that their subdivision's kind of built around. But I guess he didn't call the police. I guess he just kind of kept being nosy because that was the last time that anybody had ever seen Suzanne.
Oh, my gosh.
He, about an hour after the screams, he heard Brad's truck. It's a 2019 GMC pickup, crank up, and it left their home. And he returned home a couple of hours later. So he was down for it. He stayed up because that fight happened about 11. So, he stayed up pretty late, like just looking and being nosy. And glad he did because with this information, they were able to arrest Brad on these assaults, like domestic assault charges. And he was arrested Wednesday at like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, yes.
But in between that time, first of all, they knew it was suspicious when she got home that night, but he claims he hadn't seen her, or he claims that they were like, well, why didn't you report her missing until 3 p.m. the next day? Like, why wouldn't you, if she had left or something, like, why weren't you concerned before that time? And then he was supposed to come into the police department and for some questioning, and he actually fled like 30 miles away to family ranch in Bandera, and he was just not answering and not responding. So they were scared that he was going to run or that he may be doing something to Suzanne. Mm-hmm. So they got an arrest warrant. He's now in custody and has probably lawyered up. Who knows? They did search the wooded area, and they found 2 articles of interest, but they have not said what those articles are. Mm-hmm. It is not the cell phone because they are looking for the cell phone, and the last time the cell phone pinged was at 7:15 a.m. at an unnamed business in the area, and it has been silent and off ever since. So.
Oh, no.
No body. There's not any evidence, like not any physical evidence of a domestic violence history, but people are coming out. Like the kids have said, yeah, dad took mom's cell phone away. Dad hurt mom's elbow. Dad, so friends and like family are kind of coming out saying that he's kind of abusive.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been married for 22 years.
Oh no, he got a side piece.
Did he just all of a sudden become abusive? Was he always abusive? 22 years? That's a long time to deal with abuse.
Maybe it just kind of happened. Maybe he just was like...
Maybe she was leaving him for a rich guy at the private club, which is where I went.
That's probably exactly what happened.
And he is like, nope. If I can't have you, nobody can.
Nobody can. So obviously, what do? You kill him.
Answer number one.
There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
Well.
That's all I got. And then Garth Brooks was in the news for an alleged sexual assault by a former makeup artist 47,000 years ago.
We think it's a money grab. Supposedly, he had a hard penis and said she needed to touch it.
I mean, it's Garth Brooks' penis.
Why would you not touch it?
Why is she mad about that?
Ma'am. Just touch it and move on.
Touch it.
Just touch it and move on.
And brag about like you should be.
And 20 years later, you're going to be like, oh, and I was assaulted.
She would make more money if she just like told the magazine or whatever and called and say, why don't y'all interview me? I'm going to tell you about the time Garth Brooks I touched his penis.
Yeah.
She'd be banking. Now she's trying to just do too much.
Throw him under the bus. Probably maybe she wanted to really get with him and he like rejected her. And so now she's like, yeah, it's out.
Well.
You believe all evidence, not all women. That's the motto.
Yeah. And it's really a sad day when we automatically think that the woman's lying because not every woman is lying, but it happens so much.
Well, that's why I say don't believe all women, believe all evidence.
All evidence, yeah.
Because the man could be, you never know. Because with Johnny Depp, I mean, he was the innocent one.
Yes.
So then from there, I do not believe all women.
Because of Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she ruined it for me.
Amber Heard. That's all I have. I scraped it up really, really quick, and we stayed pretty local. I did see that there is a actual trial date for Kohberger.
It is August 2025.
Yes.
To like freaking November or something.
It is.
August 11th, 2025 through November 7th, 2025. August, September, October, November. Literally, I'm going to be in a cave for 4 months, and I can't wait. I'll watch the whole thing. Sarah Boone's trial's finally going to start next week. It got postponed. It was supposed to start this week, but it got postponed because of the hurricane. It's going to start next week. It's supposed to last 3 weeks. I'm going to be in trial, so...
What plea deal did they give her?
They gave her...
to offer her.
Yeah, like I think it was... maybe like 15 years or something, and now she's up for 22 or something, and she just denied it and rejected it. But it's disastrous. She's already lying to her attorney because they did this like preliminary hearing thing or whatever, and the stuff that like her lawyer was asking her questions up on the stand, and she was like, it was almost like they were on 2 different pages. Like, whatever they had already talked about, he was asking her questions like, okay, well, this is what we talked about. So here's my question. He expects that he knows the answer, but then she gives a different answer, and he's kind of thrown off like, well, that's not what you said when we talked about it. So then it's just going to be, it's going to be entertaining.
She's the worst.
She's the worst. And then she like bitched about having like, she really wanted to get different clothes to wear for the trial. She's like, I don't want to wear my prison. Well, yeah, that's normal that they get to wear street clothes. But, ma'am, whenever your street clothes selection looks exactly like your prison suit, like, I don't know what you're doing. It's literally a blue V-neck top that looks exactly the same as what she's been wearing every day.
So... But why won't they? Are they going to let Brian Koberger wear real
Yes,
clothes?
during the trial.
Yeah,
Typically during the trial, just because of the jury's perception. Whenever you're going into these like hearings, all these random hearings, you should be in your prison.
I thought that was typical, but then
Yes,
I was like, why
but they
are people
kept
throwing a fit?
Yeah, because they kept dressing him up in these nice suits. But I was like, why are you dressing up in suits just for the judge? I don't know. But then now that they're moved into the different county, the judge is like, this is the last time you're wearing that shit. You're going to be changed into your orange, like make you look like a real prisoner or whatever. I don't know. I watched that hearing. I don't know if I talked about this, but he is just so still. I know. And he, like, I mean, I fidget, obviously. Like, but I think typically people like cross over a leg, like move a little bit, like you write something, or you just kind of like have a little bit of movement. He just sits completely still. He has no facial expression. But I'm like, that just reminds me of like a voyeur, of just somebody who can just sit and lie in wait and watch and be still and just, I don't know, that it gives off that vibe.
Part of me deep down thinks, is this all part of his plan? So like, is this part of, because he researched so much, he was so obsessed with
BTK and all the
yes, and he took Catherine Ramsland's
like I feel like
all this part of his plan. Like, is he going to get off because of something random that's going to come up in trial and they're not going to be able to prove a reasonable doubt, and this is just all part of his plan? No. Because I feel like he was too smart to leave a knife sheath.
And where's the knife? But I think but when you're in the moment, like it just fell out, and I think that's why he drove back the next day, because he realized that he had left that, and then but by that time he couldn't go in and get it.
That's not even smart. Anyways,
I can't wait.
Hear.
I know.
I can't wait to hear more of the details, because
there's so much we don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's your quickie.
Love it.
Where are we going Thursday?
We're going to North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's do it. Don't forget to
stay aware.
Stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Goodbye, y'all.
Goodbye.